Hello class, Mr. Stone here. For this video here, we're going to actually do two things. We're going to actually combine these two polynomials, and then from there we're going to actually combine like terms. And what we're going to use to solve most of this is a T-chart, they call it. You can use the T-chart to combine the like terms for the two x's, the y's, the z's, the constants, the 3's and the 6's. But I'll show you how to do that. And you're going to find, wow, this is real easy. Okay? And remember what I said, always when you do this combine like terms, go real slow and make sure you get every number. Don't miss anything at the end. You know, if you have a 2 at the end and that's the only constant you have, make sure you combine that in your answer. Okay, if not, you could get points taken off, or maybe the teacher might view the whole thing as wrong. Okay, but let's go through this, okay? So what we got here, let's get this pen going. Pen, regular tip. We got 2x plus 3, then we have minus brackets x plus 6. What we really have to do is get rid of the brackets now, okay? So let's start by writing the 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3. We know that's going to stay there, okay? Now we have the minus, and we have to actually times each one of these. Okay, we have to go over to each one. So the minus, and it's really minus 1. Remember that, okay? If there's no number there, it's really a minus 1. So let's see, minus 1 times x is a minus 1x. Now, a minus times a plus on the 6. Remember the rules I'm going to write down here? If it's a minus times a minus, it equals a positive. It equals a positive. There's only 3 of them. If it's a plus times a plus, it equals a plus. And if it's a negative times a positive, it equals a negative. So the only difference will be if it's a negative times a positive, then it equals a negative. Okay? So remember, the other two, it's always going to be the same. Okay? It will always go to positive. So we got a negative times a positive. So that, according to the rule, it's going to be a negative. Okay? So we got minus 6. So now, here, let's form 2 of these, because we have an x and we have a thing. So let's do the x first. Okay, so we'll make a T-chart. It just looks just like this, a T. Okay, and on one side we'll put a negative, and on one side we'll put a positive. It really doesn't matter which side you do that. You can put positive on one side, negative on the other, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, so now on the x's, okay, I'm going to just circle these so we got it. Okay, now that's a positive x. And now when you circle this, make sure you include that negative 1. Okay, so we're going to put a 2 over here and a 1 over here. Okay, now the difference between these is a 1. Okay, so I'm going to draw my thing to start writing in. Okay, this is my answer block. Okay, this is where I'm going to put my answer. Okay, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going over to the other one. I didn't really want to. Okay, so I'll make this a little smaller. Okay, you see how I'm going over? Like I said, neatness is what counts on this. Okay, so we got a positive 1. We got 1x. Okay, that's all there was to that. Now, we got the 2 constants. Okay, so let's do another one. Okay, if we were drawing 2 like this, you got plenty of time to do this, and you get your scratch paper, because that way you can go back and check too. Okay, so now, what do we got? We got a positive 3 and a negative 6. So we got a negative, and then we got a positive sign. So we got a positive 3 and a negative 6. Okay, so the difference between the 2 of them is 3, and the negative sign wins out. Okay, so your answer is negative 3. Remember, the negative team won. Okay, and the other one, the positive team won. And that's your total answer. That's all there was to this. Okay, I'm going to just circle this to make sure, hey, I counted both of these, okay, and I did them right. Okay, now let's go for the next one. Okay, we keep the equation. We know the 8x plus 5. We know that's going to stay. Okay, now to get rid of the brackets, we got a negative 1 times x equals a negative 1x. Now we got a negative times a positive again, And we know that's going to be a negative because our rule says if it's a negative times a positive, it's going to rule in the negative favor. Okay? So that's what we got there. So let's do the t bracket, negative and a positive. This is for the x's. We got an 8. And we got a 1. So we do the difference is 7. And the positive side wins out. So it's going to be 7x. Let me do my square so the teacher knows, hey, this is my answer. And now we'll do the a t bracket for the constant, okay? Got a negative and a positive, okay? So let's see what we got for that. I'm going to circle these so we know we counted these. Okay, we got both of these counted. On the positives, we got a negative 5 and a positive 5. Well, we subtract that. What do we got? We got 0. So our answer is just going to be 7x, okay? So I'll circle these so I know, hey, I counted both of these. And that's all. That's all there was to that. So let's go on to the next one, okay? We got, I'll leave this. We got 6m. We know that's going to stay. And it's plus 4. Plus 4. Now to get rid of the brackets, we got a negative, right, times 2m. It's going to be negative 2m. 2m. And now we got a negative times a positive, so it's going to be a negative again. Okay? We got negative 1. Okay, we drew our t bracket for the m's. Okay, the two m's we got a positive 6m. So we got a positive 6. And we got a negative 2. Negative 2. And a square for our answer. Whoop, that's a lousy square. I should have drew the t box down a little further. Okay? Let's erase that. Should have drew that t box down a little further. Just make little x's. Get back to the pen. So we get negative and a positive. T box like the answer box like that. So we got a 4m. 4m. Now we got a 4. Now our next t box for the constants. We got a negative and a positive. We got a positive 4. Positive 4. And a negative 1. Negative 1. We do the subtraction. It's 3. The positive side wins out. So we're going to have a positive 3. So it's 4m plus 3. And that's all there was to that. Now I'm going to move down. I'm going to do a harder one first, next. And that'll be the last one. And then I kind of below that, I actually wrote down all the problems from that page. And below that, I actually wrote the answers. I'll show you that too. Okay? Let me, so we'll start this. We know the first part's going to stay. Okay? So we get the pen going. Pen. We know the 5xy squared plus 6x minus 7y. Now, we have to get rid of the brackets again. So we got a negative sign again. So we get minus 3xy then we get a minus times a minus. That was a positive. Remember on our rules over here, I wrote to the right-hand side. If it's a negative times a negative, it's a positive. So we're going to have a positive 6x. Now we have a negative times a positive. That was our exception, so we're going to have a negative 7y. That's it there. So let's do a little t box. I'm going to draw the answer box, okay? So that way we won't interfere with our t box, okay? And now we'll do our t box. T box, we got a negative, we got a positive sign, okay? Let's do the xy ones, okay? The xy square ones. This should have been xy square, okay? So we got a 5 on a positive. 5 positive, circle that. And we got a negative 3. So we got a negative 3. So who wins out is a positive. It's 5 minus 2. It's 2, and the positive wins out. xy squared. Okay? Now, what's the next t box? it's going to be the 7y. So we got a negative sign and a positive. Okay, so it starts out with a negative 7. Okay, so I'll circle that. Make sure you circle that little negative. Okay, and another negative 7. Ooh, get it all in there. Another negative 7. That means we got a negative 14. Negative 14y. We could have done the y's or the x's. It didn't really matter what was first. Okay. Now we got 6x. Draw another T box. We got a negative and a positive. So we get a positive 6. Another positive 6 right there. So what do we got? Plus 12. Plus 12, x. So that's our answer. We circle them all. I counted them all. I drew 3 T boxes. So we get 2xy squared minus 14y plus 12x. And that's the answer. Now, you notice how I put the one with the higher radical, the xy square? That's the way it should go. It should be like the higher the exponents, say you have the 4th power, the 5th power, the 6th power, it should go in like a descending type order, okay? So that it'll always start out with the highest one, and then it goes actually all the way down, and the last thing you put there would be the consonant. If the consonant's all by itself, it's a 2 or 4, that'll be the last thing on the thing. So just remember that. So it should always start with the 4th power, then the 3rd power, then the 2nd power, and it should go down in descending order like that. I'll do another video on that to explain how you tell which one should go first, but that's basically it. And like I said, now down below here for your own practice, you can stop the tape and you can do this on a scratch piece of paper, so you can see all the different ones, okay? And then even below that, I actually did it out and I got all the answer sheet. Okay, so you know what the correct answer is. You can pause this and you can go back and look. So what I do is I'd take your scratch piece of paper and I just pause it and just start writing some of these down and say, hey, have I got this? And really, once you got this, it's like you've accomplished a lot. Okay, and there's all the answers, so you can double check your work. And that's all there was to that. So it's kind of easy. You know, the T-chart thing makes it a little more simple than a number line, because sometimes the number line works fine when you're only dealing with 1s and 2s. But if you get up to 14 and 35, it makes it a little more complicated. You know, how can you go out 35 slots on the number line? It makes it very tough. But again, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and remember what I always say is math can be fun. You have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.